Now, what began with the call from progressive activists to abolish ICE, culminating with the win of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who included that in her platform. She's actually the first major politician to actually include that in her platform. That's something Bernie Sanders has not done. It's something that a lot of politicians who are progressive have actually not called for. So that was a bold move. It was a bold strategy, and it actually paid off. Now, many Democrats, in response to that, and even some ICE agents themselves, have called for the ending of the agency. In fact, according to The Hill, at least 19 U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement special agents have signed a letter to Homeland Security Secretary Kirsten Nielsen calling for an end to ICE and to shift the work that it does to other bureaus. Now, that's interesting. Now, they say investigators have been perceived as targeting undocumented aliens. I'm sorry, let me go back here. They said that they were concerned that the Trump administration's crackdown on immigration was preventing them from carrying out other duties. They said investigators have been perceived as targeting undocumented aliens instead of the transnational criminal organizations that facilitate cross-border crimes, impacting our communities and national security. So this has been essentially turned into deportation force. And they're saying that. It's like, no, this focus on zero tolerance at the border is taken away from the other shit that we actually do, stuff that's actually we think is important. Now, the agents who signed the letter are members of Homeland Security Investigations, that is a section of ICE. Now, agents in the division work on crimes like drug trafficking, cyber crimes, human smuggling, according to the New York Times. Now, the agents suggested that Kirsten Nielsen create a different agency, a second bureau, just for investigations, and another for immigrations and immigration and deportation. Now, I say just get rid of ICE completely. Gone. We don't need it. We didn't need it prior to when it was created, almost 2 decades ago. So, no, we don't need ICE. Get rid of it. And that's what other Democratic politicians are calling for. In fact, Representative Mark Pocan last week introduced a bill to eliminate the agency. That's great. That's actually legislation. Now, not only that, but here you have Kirsten Gillibrand. Now, Kirsten Gillibrand is widely believed to be running for president in 2020. Now, earlier today, I'm sorry, not today, but earlier in the week, she was talking about it with Chris Cuomo. Here's what she said.
She's also got some positions that are even to the left of Bernie Sanders. She wants to get rid of ICE. Now, what are you going to do with your party if you do come into a majority and you have a significant number, or at least an influence, of people who have that kind of a position?
Yeah. Well, I agree with it. I don't think ICE today is working as intended.
Well, you think you should get rid of the agency?
I believe that it has become a deportation force. And I think you should separate the criminal justice from the immigration issues. And I think you should reimagine ICE under a new agency with a very different mission and take those two missions out. And so we believe that we should protect families that need our help, and that is not what ICE is doing today, and that's why I believe you should get rid of it, start over, reimagine it, and build something that actually works.
Or just do none of those things other than abolish ICE. That would be great too. Because look at what they're doing. They're not just going after the bad ones, right? No, they're going after green card holders. They're also prosecuting babies. Yes, they're bringing, there's a story of a 6-month-old, right, who has been arrested by ICE along with their parents for crossing the border illegally. And look, because of Trump's, immigration order, his zero tolerance law, there is now a 6-year-old that cannot represent themselves, obviously, and is being represented by other people that are being dragged to court for immigration proceedings. There are 3-year-olds climbing on court tables because guess what? They're 3. And yet they're being asked, why did you cross the border illegally? They don't know. They're 3. Or they're 6, they're 7. And yes, there are older kids too. There's 12-year-olds, but they're more of the unaccompanied minors. And so, of course, they can't have their families in court because their families aren't there. But the 3-year-old who has their parents there? No, they're being separated. They're being tried separately. And Donald Trump wants to get rid of the judges, by the way. I mean, the whole thing is insanity. That's why one of the ICE's lawyers is like, no, I'm not going to prosecute 10-year-olds. I'm not going to prosecute 6-month-olds, toddlers. I'm not doing it anymore. We have crossed the veil of insanity. I'm not going to do it anymore. In fact, that same lawyer says I'm going to actually represent the children that are being sent away, that are being prosecuted. Look, this is unbelievable. And again, it's because of ICE, and it's because of Trump's zero-tolerance policy. Gillibrand's actually right. They are the deportation force. Remember, Trump, during his campaign, said, let's create a deportation force. Well, it turns out he didn't have to. He already had one. ICE. They are his, essentially, brown shirts. Now, if you don't understand, if you're on the side that doesn't understand why the left are now saying, hey, you know what, it'd be a great idea, we should abolish ICE, as well as end this policy, well, then you're either incredibly ignorant or you don't think that there's a problem with putting 6-month-olds in court. And if you're that type of person, well, you have no hope. Hey, everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.